Hi, welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Matthew Murray and this is Samara Lynn, and we're here today to talk to you about some stories in the news, one cool product from our labs, and answer a reader question. And today we're focusing a lot on security, and we're going to start with an issue that has really gotten a lot of Apple users riled up, and that's a security problem in OS X Maverick. Samara, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, a couple of days ago we found out about this big go-to-fail security vulnerability, and essentially it would leave a system exposed to hijacking or eavesdropping. It's a pretty potentially big security threat. And Apple kind of dragged its feet and waited about 4 days to even really address it with a fix. And that got a lot of people, you know, giving Apple kind of the side eye. I mean, that's a long time to go from a pretty big security threat to posting a patch update.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft is usually better known for waiting, you know, a month between its patch Tuesdays or whatever. So it's not usual to see that from Apple.
Right. And you know, it's kind of like even now there's sort of a lack of transparency on Apple's site. People kind of criticizing. You know, I think one journalist called their reply on their site very terse as to how they were dealing with this threat. But they did post a fix. It went up yesterday morning. And, you know, I mean, is this indicative of post-Steve Jobs Apple? We hope not.
Yeah, definitely. You know? But the takeaway from here is if you use OS X Mavericks, you should go and download that fix right now to make sure you're protected.
That's right.
But, you know, as angry as the Apple users are about this, there are actually security officials out there who are saying people are not angry enough about security.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, one from Juniper, where PCMag is currently out at RSA covering this and a lot of other happenings. So, Samara, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, our security team is right now at RSA, and Max Eddy, one of our security analysts, did a great post covering the Juniper executive's keynote at RSA. And essentially he said that we aren't PO'd enough about security breaches, and of course he referenced NSA, and he referenced all the cyber attacks that we read about every day. He also got kind of snarky. He said that we express first world outrage, meaning that we do things in protest, like not liking something on Facebook. So, but you know, Matt, the thing is he made a lot of valid points, but we do have to stress, this is a Juniper executive, and what does Juniper do? They sell security products, so really it's kind of in his interest to get us all riled up.
That's true. I mean, personally, I think he has a point that it's so easy to take security issues for granted. And as we saw with the Apple story, it's kind of an ongoing thing. But yeah, obviously, the world would be a better place if we all took more of an active approach in that. But one way we shouldn't take an active approach is with Google Glass. And that's the topic of our third story today. Because Google Glass is getting people very angry for other reasons. And in fact, recently in San Francisco, a woman was kicked out of a bar because she was wearing it. That's really kind of scary, isn't it?
Well, she's claiming she wasn't just kicked out. She's claiming she was pretty much attacked, beaten, and robbed because of Google Glass. Yeah, it's pretty scary if the allegations are true. Apparently, a lot of patrons in the bar got very suspicious and wary of her wearing glasses. They didn't want to be recorded.
Right.
You know.
I don't blame them. I mean, it's so weird when you see someone wearing Google Glass. It's really hard to tell what they're doing with it. So I can understand why people would be upset. But this is an issue we got to deal with now because it's going to become only bigger and more prominent in the future as the tech gets out there and is taken over by other companies.
But of course, I mean, there's nothing you can do on Google Glass that you can't do on a smartphone.
That's true, but personally, I think that when you see someone holding it up to your ear, you kind of know that there's not something going on. Whereas if the there's a camera right over their eye, you're not entirely sure what's going on. So again, it's going to be a change in the culture and the change in the way all of us think. But I think it's again, it's too bad for her if that happened. But hopefully, if this gets us talking about it and gets a solution out there, I think in the long run it'll be a good thing.
Absolutely.
So our reader question today is from a YouTube user, TSA VXYOOJ. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try, so I'm sorry if you're watching, but I will. We'll read the question here, and Samara, coincidentally, this is right up your alley. So, can someone help me? I have Time Warner, and they provided me with their own router, an Eris. I have their Extreme package, and I'm getting 30 megabits per second, but when I game online, it lags, so I'm forced to buy a 50-foot Ethernet cable to run across the house for a wired connection. Videos also buffer when I'm on my iPod or tablet. The question is, can I buy a new router, connect it to the old router, and run Wi-Fi off of the new router?
Well, see, I think if you do that, you're still not really addressing the lag issue because you're just introducing another wireless device, wireless router. For him, I think, or her, I think the good solution here might be power line. Now, I think gaming consoles, and you know, Matt, you are a desktop gamer, I'm an Xbox gamer. I think anything you're using to game with should always leverage Ethernet. They should just be wired. If you have to use a 50-foot Ethernet cable, obviously you're far from your modem. What you might want to look into is a power line solution. So what that is it's just a little adapter. You would plug it into the room that you have your console at, and it would use your electrical system in your home to forward Ethernet, and then you can just plug your console into that. I haven't tested a lot of them, but we do have an analyst, John Delaney, who has tested a lot of these adapters on PCMag. So I would just go ahead on PCMag's site, look at power line. That might be a solution for you.
Yeah, but I agree with Samara that the best way to do it is to use Ethernet and suck up the cables. I mean, find some way to roll, you know, either hang them on the walls or under rugs or whatever, but Ethernet's the only way to game, unfortunately. I wish it weren't true, but until wireless gets a lot faster, it really is. Right. So last but far from least today is our one cool thing, and this is the Bose SoundTouch 20 system. So Samara, if you could tell us a little bit about this.
So what's really cool, this is not even posted review yet, you're getting the preview, but it's a wireless speaker, and the analyst Will Greenwald, who reviewed it, said it just sounds excellent. It works with AirPlay and also works with Bose's SoundTouch app. So there's a lot of functionality, a lot of interaction you can do with your, your devices and stuff. So, and it looks cool. Don't you think, Matt?
Yeah, it's like a really good looking system. This is the second Bose system we reviewed recently. The other one was the SoundLink Bluetooth Speaker 3, and then it has a very similar aesthetic to it. But Bose is really good at coming up with good looking speaker systems. And one of the things that I love about this, and I'm hoping I can get something like this is for wireless multi-room audio. And for people like me who don't like running any kind of cables except Ethernet cables,
for gaming.
This is exactly. I mean, this is really a terrific thing. And at $400. It's a terrific way to start getting your home speaker system running. So definitely wait for the review of this. It will be up on PCMag.com really soon, and we're excited to see how it does. So know whether I should buy one for myself. But that's actually all for today. So thanks for joining us for PCMag Live. Samara, Lynn, and I will be back on Friday, but we'll be back. The show itself will be back tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you then. So have a good day. Bye.